I made a desk setup video about a month or so ago, and in it I said minimalism is boring, and I stand by that. But I wanted to challenge myself. The idea behind this video all started off because I wanted a writing desk. And the concept of this video is that I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to push myself to make a minimalist desk setup, but it be functional and interesting. Now, I set up a couple of rules for me. The first one is the desk setup had to have a purpose. So gaming, editing, whatever. But like I said, this is a writing desk setup. I wanted something in my house for me to go write scripts, not be distracting, and it to be in a different spot in my house, some place so I can just get out of my office. This isn't a very big room, and I've been spending a ton of time in here. The other rule was I couldn't just reuse something from my main desk. So I couldn't just take stuff from my main desk, bring it over there, make a video and bring it back. I didn't want to do that. This is a permanent desk setup. So it had to be different stuff that goes on this desk. This video is sponsored by FlexiSpot. Let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, I am kind of breaking one of the rules. The computer that is on the desk is my iPad Pro. Probably no surprise there. I use my iPad Pro for everything, whether it's writing, admin tasks, video editing, photo editing. Doesn't matter. I use my iPad Pro for everything, so it does move around my house. So technically right there I am breaking a rule, but I'm gonna let it slide because it's my computer. The iPad Pro I'm using is the 12.9 inch 2 terabyte model. I love the 12.9 inch one because it's that bigger canvas, gives me more space for things like Stage Manager or photo and video editing. Plus you get that really great mini LED display. They have some fancy name for it, but it's just a mini LED display. I really like it. I use the 2 terabyte one because again, photo and video editing, that stuff takes up a lot of space. The very first thing I put on this desk was an NFC sticker. It's underneath the desk right next to the controls for the desk. When I come out here, I scan this NFC sticker with my phone. What this does is it runs a shortcut automation. It toggles all the lights in that area to be the right level and turn off certain lights and turn on other lights. It also turns on my writing focus and starts time tracking as well. Now, the desk itself was provided to me by FlexiSpot. This video is sponsored by them. This is their new E8 desk. This is a standing desk, and this thing is awesome. I love it. I actually really like FlexiSpot's desk. The desk I'm sitting at right now recording this is their older E7 version. Now, for my writing desk, I wanted a standing setup. I like to pace around when I'm writing and when I'm thinking and kind of working out problems. I sit a lot in this chair, especially when I'm editing and filming videos and stuff like this, so I wanted something to kind of mix up my setup. This desk is incredibly sturdy even at its highest position. When I'm writing, there's no wobble when I'm banging away on the keyboard. You can program up to 4 different height positions. The E8 desk has a height range of 23.6 inches to 49.2 inches, and it has a load capacity of 275 pounds. So no matter what you put on the desk, it's going to be able to handle it. The noise level when adjusting the height of the desk is surprisingly quiet. A lot of standing desks are very noisy. So if you have a kid sleeping in another room or anyone sleeping in the other room, they might wake up. This one don't have that issue. It also has an anti-collision system. So if you're somebody that keeps your chair underneath your desk and you go to lower your desk and forget about it, it's not going to crush your chair. Overall, this is a really nice desk. FlexiSpot also sent me their cable management rack. This hooks right onto the bottom of the desk, and I was able to mount everything here. It's a really nice addition to any desk setup. You don't actually have to have just a FlexiSpot desk to use it. They also sent me their RGB light strip. This is a 10-foot strip of lights, and it even comes with the mounting brackets to hook it onto the wall, or what I did, the desk. There's a remote so you can control the different light levels, colors, patterns, whatever. And the last thing they sent me is their 3-drawer cabinet. Perfect for if you want a clean desk setup, but you need to have a bunch of stuff within arm's reach. It even locks so you can be sure you're the only one getting access to it. FlexiSpot doesn't just make really cool desks, they also have a lot of great accessories as well. I'm going to put links to where you can go check out everything in the description below. If you're going to use a standing desk, you need a standing desk mat. Especially if you're just transitioning from a sitting desk to a standing desk. That standing fatigue really is a thing. It really can sit it. And a standing desk mat helps with that. It's just a cushion pad that you can stand on for a while. Now, I got one from Amazon here, and it's just a generic one. It's nothing special, but it's quite comfy. I like it quite a bit. The only thing I wish I would have got a bigger one, but overall, it's fine. I really like standing when I'm writing and doing those kinds of tasks. I like to pace around when I'm thinking things out and working out problems, and just having a standing desk really helps with that. Now, underneath the desk, I mounted a long power strip surge protector. I just use command strips to hold this in place. Now, when doing a standing desk, you want to make sure you have everything in the standing height, because that's when cables are going to get pulled the most. But the goal of this desk was to make it look extremely clean. So I took the surge protector, mounted it to the bottom, and plugged in everything here. Pulled all the cables tight, so this way, whenever I move it from sitting to standing, you don't see a bunch of dangling cables underneath. When the desk is in its standing height and you're looking at it, there's only one cable you can see, and that is the power cable for the power strip. Now, to hold all the cables in place, I used some electrical cable ties. Now, these are things that you can just get at any hardware store or Amazon or whatever, but basically what they are is they have a sticky side that you can stick to any surface, and then just hooks that you can put cables through. This way it'll keep all the cables, anything that was loose that I couldn't quite get into the cable rack, it'll keep everything nice and tight and up high. This way nothing's dangling down low. Now, I did find a power outlet that mounts to a side of the desk, and I really like this a lot, especially for charging devices, whether it's, my iPad mini or headphones or keyboards or whatever. It's just really nice to have outlets right there on the desk so I can just plug something in, not have to crawl underneath the desk to plug something in or unplug something. It's just power strips are right there, I can plug it in. Now, this power outlet has 2 USB-A ports and 2 USB-C ports, and those USB ports go up to 45 watts of charging, so it supports even the fastest charging for something like an iPad Pro. For the top part of the desk, I wanted to keep it as clean as possible, but I knew I would need something to prop my iPad up a bit more, so I busted out the Grove-made monitor stand. I really like this thing. It's really long, it doesn't add a ton of height, and it's really nice to look at. It also has pockets for storage as well. Now, the iPad stand that I'm using is the Lab 22 Infinity Adjust iPad stand. I really like this stand. It's a solid stand. It's got a nice weighted base. There's no wobble when you're tapping on the screen of the iPad, which is really important to me. It's a decent height. I do wish it would get a bit taller, but it holds the iPad in place. No wobble, like I said. But what's really cool and what I like about it is it's easy to rotate. So if I'm working on something and I have a bunch of apps open, I'll work typically in landscape mode. So I could have Obsidian or things open, or maybe Obsidian and I'm referencing another app or something like that. But if I'm just working in a text editor like Obsidian, I can rotate the stand so it's in portrait mode, so my text document is nice and tall. I don't need a bunch of other apps open when I'm just writing, and this is kind of nice that I can just rotate between the two positions here. Magnetic iPad stands are absolutely my favorite. There's no clamping mechanism, so there's nothing like clamping down on your iPad. They're really easy to get your iPad in and out of. Honestly, one of the best iPad accessories you could have is just a magnetic iPad stand. I've been a bit disappointed in the AirPods Max as my general headphones. They didn't get any of the new AirPods features at WWDC in 2023. They're too big and heavy to travel with, especially because I travel with a bunch of camera gear, so my backpack is already really heavy. I don't want to add extra weight, and I don't want to add big things that take up more space. So they've been demoted to be my writing headphones. What they are really great at is noise canceling, and that's what I need when I'm writing. They block out all the noise around me, whether it's neighbors, gardeners, trucks, whatever. Outside of the actual computer, for a writing setup, the most important piece is probably the keyboard, and as you can see, I have a bit of a keyboard obsession. Now, Keychron recently sent me their newest keyboard, the Q65. I wasn't too sure about this keyboard because I've gone very, very deep into heavy custom mechanical keyboards. But this is a 65% keyboard with a volume knob and 4 macro buttons built right into it. It's also made out of aluminum, so it feels really nice. It's heavy. It's a good feeling keyboard. Now, they sent me the fully completed version with banana switches and their keycaps. I pretty much immediately replaced their keycaps. They use a much higher profile keycap than what I like. I like a standard cherry profile keycap set, but theirs are a bit higher for my liking, but they're still good keycaps. I'm just very picky. Now, the banana switches sound amazing. I was actually very surprised about this. I wasn't expecting the standard key switches that came with it to sound this good. These are linear switches. The keyboard itself supports a wired mode, a Bluetooth mode, and a wireless USB dongle as well. Typically, big metal keyboards like this have issues with Bluetooth, like they don't work very well, but I actually haven't had a single issue with this keyboard in Bluetooth mode, and actually that's the only way I've used it is with Bluetooth. It does have RGB, but typical me, I disabled that right away. There is a volume knob to control, well, the volume, obviously, but if you press it, it will mute your audio. Now, you can use the web application Via to reprogram this to be play pause or something else if you like. You can also use Via to program the macro keys to be something. So there's 4 macro keys on the side. You could program those to be media controls, toggle key combo presses, system shortcuts, whatever. The unfortunate thing though is Via doesn't work strictly from the iPad. You have to have a Chromium browser, and Chromium is not supported on the iPad right now. So I haven't been able to reprogram those. I've literally been thinking about trying to get like a super cheap refurbished Mac Mini just so I can program keyboards with it, because that's like the only thing that's missing from the iPad right now for me. People that are looking to get into mechanical keyboards and wanting a recommendations, I think this is my new go-to recommendation. It's not the cheapest mechanical keyboard, but it feels really nice. You get the option of programming it with Via, so you can do really cool things with it. There's a hot swap option, so you can take out the switches and replace them with the switches you want. You can always replace the keycaps. I think this is a really great starter keyboard. And honestly, this is kind of up there with my mode keyboards as far as my favorites. Now, it's not going to replace the mode keyboards for me. I have 2 of those, but it is in my rotation of keyboards I use now. Now, I have a small keyboard mat underneath the keyboard. These come in all different designs and shapes and all sorts of different things. I'm going to link to a bunch of sites to where you can go check all those keyboard mats out along with everything else that I mentioned. The one I have here is of the Solar System. Now, these typically go in and out of sale. Like usually people make a bunch of the stock of them, sell out, and they're gone forever. So it's hard to link to the ones that I have already. But it gives a really nice cushion when writing, and it kind of just mixes up the design of the desk so it's not just a black tabletop. Next to the keyboard is the Magic Trackpad, because of course the iPad still doesn't work that great with third-party mouses. I really wish it would. I don't really know what more to say about that. The Magic Trackpad supports all the gestures, and that's why it's kind of my go-to. I have 2 of them for a really long story that's not interesting anymore. But I have one for my desk in here and one for my desk out there. Now, most minimal desk setups you see won't have any decor on them whatsoever, but you can still have a couple of fun things on your desk and it still look minimal. You don't have to be all like, everything has to serve an exact purpose and I can't have anything fun in my life. You don't have to be that way. So like, I have the Lego Piranha plant on my desk. My girlfriend got me that. It reminds me of her and makes me happy. I have a couple of photography books and some shelves with some more Lego stuff out there. And I just enjoy seeing that stuff. It makes me enjoy that space more. And it's not just some blank, generic, hot swap tech startup desk. But none of that stuff on that desk is overwhelming. So that's it for this video. I want to hear from you all. What is your favorite minimalist desk setup accessory? My thanks to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day.